I don't know about you guys, but once we're ready to tow, I always engage the tow haul button. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The much anticipated first towing series is gonna happen in the quad cab. So I'm gonna get this sucker hooked up to our 40-foot trailer. Our load isn't gonna be the heaviest, I'll be honest. It is a no engine, no trans, 3rd gen. I would estimate probably 5,000 pounds plus the weight of my trailer. So this is nowhere near fully loaded, but it will be the first time that we hook this setup to the gooseneck. Let's get her loaded up and see what you do. This is also a great time to talk about converter drain back, okay? So if you have a newer trans and you have drain back and you start the truck up and it doesn't do anything, put it in neutral or park, give it a couple seconds, and now we have a gear. So I'm gonna get this thing hooked up and you know, we'll see how good she does. But so far, I'm loving this setup. You guys can't tell by all my many social media posts, like this setup freaking rips. I love the way the truck looks. I love the way it rides. That's probably the biggest thing I haven't covered is how thrilled I have been with this cut down Thurin coil. It has done fantastic with the Fox shocks, the Thurin coil. Like, this thing rides like no other 3rd gen I've ever been in. So let me get hooked up. All right, for those of you guys that are brand new to our channel, this is a 2021 Big Tex 22GN flat 40. We do have the heavier tires. I believe these are either it came with E's and I put F's, or it came with F's and I put G's, but I upsized the tire. So it is a little bit heavier than it normally would be from Big Tex. And let me get you guys the tag here. Right there. Oh, great. Can't even read it. Shocker. But usually this trailer weighs about 8,000 pounds, give or take, hooked up. The truck, I know for a fact, weighs 8,130 pounds the way it sits with a full tank. So we're right at 16,000 pounds just here. We'll throw my 5,000 pound truck on here. So that'll put us right at, what, about 22,000 gross. So again, not the biggest workout in the world, but it certainly is going to see how well she do. Well guys, we got her all loaded up. We pumped up our bags a little bit, strapped her down, and this is it. This is what I've been thinking of since I bought this truck and trailer. Black on black on black. Next morning, had a little bit scheduling conflict, but got the old girl warmed up. Let's hit the road and see how good this thing does towing. This is our only interstate drive, and it's 1 mile. So, you know, getting on, we ran 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We went 1, 2, locked it, 2, 3, locked. And this thing holds, like, so far it's been great. Getting up to speed, gets a little warm on the coolant temp, like 210, but that's about what my 4th gen did, in all honesty. And it comes right back down once the fan clutch kicks on. Here we are pulling a hill in overdrive, you know, going the speed limit, at least for right here. Really not that bad. I'm gonna get to kind of where I can get you guys some better video footage, but all in all, as of right now, getting on the interstate, the highest EGT I saw was 1,300, which, going off of my 4th gen, that's about where it was at. You know, you need a little heat to spool the turbos, but again, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. I will say the one thing I miss the most is probably my exhaust brake, which I talked about. We definitely want to add that back into our program. you got to be smart with the brakes. So I let the truck kind of coast more, like engine braking, I guess, with just RPM. But yeah, everything's going good so far. And all right, and here we are. We're at 30, accelerating to 45, giving it some juice. Now we're in third. Not quite at 40 yet, but we are coming up on a red light. So, just kidding. Turn green for us. So you guys can see here. I mean, again, with this 48 only having 4 gears, RPM is your friend. I know a lot of people always get nervous, like really revving these Cummins motors out, and I mean really any diesel. But guys, I'm telling you, it'll be okay as long as you have the proper what's the word, the proper hard parts. It can be done. It's really not that hard on them. I tell you this, it's a lot easier to rev them out like that than it is to suck them down and make them lug. They're working a lot harder down there. The oil pump is spinning slower, the water pump's spinning slower. And this is a situation where normally I would probably grab Overdrive on the like unloaded situation, but because we are loaded up, you know, you let RPM be your friend. And I mean, realistically, in a lot of the tow trucks that I've driven, when you put them in tow haul mode, they do tend to run higher RPM, and it's just better throttle response with a load, stuff like that. My 21 Ram used to love sitting higher up in the RPM. It would only lug itself down if the tow haul was off, and it was constantly shifting, you know. And like I said, the brakes I will give you, if you have a newer tow rig, the brakes are definitely superior to what we have in this 3rd gen by far. That is so far the one thing I can honestly tell you is like, could be better. We do have an exhaust brake in the works. I was just trying to figure out which kit I really wanted to go, so that will be coming up soon. And then I don't do lock shifts when I'm towing. I will do the overdrive locked, but going through town and stuff, it's really not worth it. But here we are, about to hit a 55-mile-an-hour zone. You guys are watching these gauges as I am, like nothing crazy. Again, these aren't the small injectors. These are 300s, and you guys can see there, not an issue. We're going almost 55. We're about to hit overdrive here, and there's overdrive, and you guys can see where that put us RPM wise. Now on the highway, I don't think overdrive will be a problem because there is so much power up there. On these back roads, this is where a 68 with 5th gear would really be nice, or a like any 6-speed where you have that intermediary gear between 4th being direct and 6th being double overdrive, like the little bit of overdrive that 5th gear provides. And we got a nice turn here. That's pretty much this whole highway. This is Virginia Route 19, going from Abingdon to like north and east, I guess. But I don't know, this truck handles the weight pretty well. Again, this isn't a super heavy load. I would definitely say our Ford trip was heavier when we got the 6-liter, when we started slipping the trans, but we have had zero hesitation out of this transmission, and we're just cruising. Once we get to John Douglas, it is a kind of a lot of guys that come to our shop talk about hauling over it. It is a very steep grade. I don't know the specifics of it, but it is definitely a challenge for sure, getting over it and staying cool. So that'll kind of be where we test, so to speak, EGT and cooling limits. It's about a 61, 64 degree day today, overcast, but it's not winter anymore by far. And yeah, other than that, left to right, the truck feels real stable with these steering coils. Bumps and stuff are negligible with the airbags. So we've taken care of a lot of the ride problems. Obviously the horsepower is good. The trans hasn't gotten above 120 all day today, which is fantastic. That's what we want. And so far, guys, this has been fantastic, other than just the brakes. That's the only thing that's scary, is trying to control all this without an exhaust brake. All right, first gear. Second gear, lock up. There you go. Starting our ascent to John Douglas. If you look right there, you can see that hill. So definitely not a small grade. I'm not going to try and compare it to anything crazy, because I don't believe it is. But this is the grade that we got to go up. I think the plan really is just to let it eat in third gear, which honestly in my fourth gen, when we were loaded, like usually I'd let it eat in fourth gear. So we're just going up the hill, not losing any speed. Guys, look at that EGT control right there. 1100 degrees at 55. We're at 28 pounds of boost. I'm waiting for that engine coolant temperature to catch up though. I know some of you guys are probably looking at that. I'd say my let out point in this truck is going to be right around 220. That's where it was in my third gen, or my fourth gen. That's also about where you could feel the ECM start to lose a little bit of power on my fifth gen. But so far we're holding steady at 200. Again, 1100 degree EGT, 25 pounds of boost. This thing, just listen to this thing eat. And look at these views, absolutely awesome views. But we're going up the hill right now. Again, 55 is the speed limit. We are doing that no problem. 1100 degree EGT, 201 on the coolant temp. So that's the first part of it. It continuously goes up. That is by far the steepest part, but we are still climbing, as you can tell by the EGTs and boost. But that is damn impressive. Like, this thing did not care at all. Again, we're 20, I would honestly say 23,000 gross. Usually with my truck loaded down and this trailer, we were right at about 25. So I'm gonna say this is probably 23,000. Alright guys, we are nearing the completion of our 60-mile trip, approximately an hour. This thing has just been phenomenal. Again, exhaust brake, and this setup is a unit. We pulled a couple of smaller hills. I was just, honestly, if you guys look out this scenery, like, to me, like, Abingdon is still a pretty big town. Like, this area of Southwest Virginia to me is like, just, I mean, like, look at that one house over there on the hill. Like, this to me is kind of it as far as when looking at houses and stuff. Like, I want to kind of, maybe not this far up, but like this kind of area where there's just not a lot of stuff. I definitely enjoy more of the rural vibe. But yeah, not bad. Really, trans temp, again, that's the hottest it's really gotten. Just being smart when you slow down is probably the key on this truck. You know, if you're coming up to, the nice part about Google Maps is they have a lot of signal markers now. So just being smart when you're coming over a hill and stuff like that has really been the ticket. Other than that, this thing has performed fantastic. EGT's, never heard of her. I lugged a couple of hills in Overdrive at like 60. It'll hit like 1300. So I think going like 70, 75 on the interstate, it'll be very similar to what you see here RPM wise. So I assume boost and EGT will be about the same. I would expect a little bit more boost, maybe a little bit more EGT, but nowhere close to the thermal limits. Again, this truck does not have an engine in it or a trans, so I would approximate another 2,000 pounds. But I really don't think it's going to change much as far as how this truck performs overall. Really, exhaust brake, sound deadening, and this thing is ready to go. Been very, very happy with it. So I'm going to drop this truck off with our friend Keaton at R&K, get a couple of issues sorted out there. Big thank you to him for being a man of his word and fixing the issues that I had. Guys, if you don't know, or if you've never dealt with me as far as business goes, I will gladly purchase from friends, but I do not want that hookup price. I would rather pay full price, because I am definitely the guy that wants stuff done correctly. So if you ever do want me to purchase any of your products and stuff like that, I never ask for a discount. I appreciate it if you give it to me, but I definitely am the guy that wants it done right rather than done cheap. So big thank you to him for getting it fixed, getting us in on our time frame. He'll have the truck for about 3 weeks. I'm gonna just leave this old girl in drive here and get there, get home, and we will unpack this all when we get back to the shop. Well, we made it home. Trailer dropped over there. Made it home one piece, no issues. Guys, I am thrilled with how this thing towed. And hold on, for those of you guys that are curious, because everyone always seems to question that wire harness. Let's take a look. I have not popped the hood, so I'm gonna be just as shocked as you guys with what we see here. Hardly nothing with those blankets and all the hot pipe and stuff. So nothing melted, nothing caught on fire. We are good to go. No issues. I am thrilled with the way the truck performed. And yeah. In closing, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it was a lot of talking, not so much action, but a lot of you guys were curious how this setup towed. Again, just going off of memory here, I'd say that was around 23,000 pounds gross, maybe 24. John Douglas, you know, again, it's more of a local grade than a well-known grade, but it is a hill nonetheless. Did it no problem, kept up with the speed limit just fine. Peak EGT on that hill climb was like 1150. The hottest I saw it get, just having fun getting on the highway, was like 1400. You know, everything was happy, boost was good, and yeah, all in all, it was a great time. I freaking love this thing. Posted it for sale the other day on Firepunk Forum. I think we'll just keep it. Anyway, guys, hopefully you like this video. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you are not already. We'll do some more trailer burnouts, I promise. And as always, guys, I'll catch y'all on the next one.